This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor. A recent development with NASA's 1977 Voyager One spacecraft eerily echoes the plot of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with the plot of 1979's Star Trek: The Motion Picture, in the movie, the Voyager 6 spacecraft, also known as Voyager, was the antagonist that threatened Earth. The film established that Voyager started out as NASA probe Voyager 6 that was launched in the 20th century and later lost in a black hole. The probe was subsequently found by a race of living machines who rebuilt it as a vastly more powerful sentient life form that ultimately poses a threat to Earth and the entire universe, which brings Voyager into conflict with the crew of the USS Enterprise. Now, on a more scientific note, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory reported that problems were identified with Voyager 1's attitude, articulation, and control system, which is transmitting invalid telemetry data. JPL expert Susanna Dodd described the situation as par for the course for this stage of the Voyager mission. NASA Space News gave a more detailed description of the problem and what is being done to remedy it.
The Voyager One probe is still exploring interstellar space, 45 years after launch, but it has run into a problem that has the spacecraft's crew on Earth baffled. The Voyager One mission launched in 1977, then it entered what scientists call interstellar space in 2012, and has just kept going. But while the Voyager One is still operational, scientists on the expedition recently noted that it seemed confused about its location in space without entering safe mode or raising an alert. The attitude, articulation, and control system readouts, which govern the spacecraft's orientation in space, do not match what Voyager is really doing. The attitude, articulation, and control system, or AACS, ensures that the Voyager's high-gain antenna remains oriented at Earth so that data may be sent back to NASA. Because of Voyager's interstellar position, light takes 20 hours and 33 minutes to travel one way. Therefore, a single transmission between NASA and Voyager takes 2 days. The signal from Voyager is as powerful as it always has been, indicating that the antenna is still pointing at Earth. The team is attempting to discover whether the inaccurate data is being generated by this instrument or by another system. If the team cannot uncover the source of the problem, they may simply adjust to it, if they can. The problem may be resolved by making a software update or relying on a redundant hardware system. Voyager has previously depended on backup systems to survive this long. The probe fired thrusters used during its initial planetary contacts in the 1970s in 2017, and they still operated after sitting idle for 37 years. The Voyager crew is sure that this issue will be solved. They have corrected numerous problems over the spacecraft's extended existence. Yet, the ship cannot operate indefinitely. In addition to the current communication problem, Voyager 1 is operating at substantially lower temperatures than intended due to the degradation of the spacecraft's nuclear power source. According to NASA, the twin Voyager 2 probe, which was launched in 1977, is behaving properly. The power the twin spacecraft can generate is constantly decreasing, and mission team members have shut off several components to preserve power, moves they believe will keep the probes operational until at least 2025.
And now it appears that they've managed to determine what happened. After several months, NASA engineers managed to diagnose and fix the spacecraft, so now it's back online and communicating perfectly. It turned out that the AACS, Attitude, Articulation, and Control System, had for some reason started sending its telemetry data via an onboard computer that had supposedly stopped working years ago. That computer corrupted the outgoing data. NASA engineers were able to switch the AACS back to using the correct computer to send its data home. They're still working to figure out why that change in computers initially occurred, but for now all is well with this amazing space probe. So, even though Voyager 1 may not have been taken over by aliens, it was behaving strangely. And now it's still doing an amazing job exploring space after 45 years. Thank you for joining me. Remember each Tuesday to join David Denault for America's Return to Space, and join me every Friday for America in Space. From the Florida Space Coast, I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor for About Space Today.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends, and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.